I was gonna be like, you know where I get my coffee?
Caffeine too. Caffeine fucks up your throat.
Yeah. I was gonna be like, you know where I get my coffee from?
Yeah.
Starbucks.
Should I went to Starbucks instead? We could have went to Starbucks.
Nah, it's okay. I can't because I kind of break that habit. Been getting it for like, I think I got Starbucks like almost 3 days this week. I need to really cut that I need to cut that habit.
This should be good.
I feel like I have to like inject coffee into my veins so I can be like I can actually actively function during the day.
I'd say just take a break. You probably also fix your acne as well.
What?
Like if you don't drink coffee, if you just caffeine, it clogs the pores in your face. Like I was drinking milk a lot, and I had like really bad acne in high school.
Well, that's the thing. It's
dietary, and it could be stress too.
It could be, but like I said, I might just go to a a dermatologist just to see what's up, because I'm like on, what do? I wash my face in the shower, right? And then when I have the time, I put like face masks on. I think I got like under eye masks.
Like those raccoon things?
Not those raccoon things, okay, but this is just to help the dark eye, right?
Yeah.
And then I have charcoal, the charcoal ones that go over your nose, the peel ones. And then I have a cream that I have to actively do my whole face with, right? I just bought, but I haven't been able to fully do it yet because I'm like, oh, every time I have a day off, I'm just like, oh shit, I don't want to do nothing.
Yeah.
I have no idea why. Like,
how many days a week do you work?
Well, I work 5 days out of the week, but the thing is, my days off are Saturdays and Mondays right now. But even though after like Friday night, I'm just like, oh, I'm fucking done. Don't even talk to me.
Yeah.
Don't look at me. Don't look in my direction. Just leave me alone. Let me watch my Marvel movies and like just leave me alone, please.
Yeah. So you keeping up with WandaVision?
The only okay, let me just put it this way: the only MCU like live action that I haven't watched was Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay, so you got all Agents Shield. You should check that out?
No, not that TV show because they just put it on. I'm actually wanting to.
On Disney Plus?
I have Disney Plus. So now I'm really wanting to get into X-Men because I heard about like Jean Grey and the Dark Phoenix and everything. I think her storyline seems very intriguing. That, and they're also doing like throwing in the mutants in there with the MCU timeline. So I'm like, okay, maybe I should watch it.
Well, I liked the MC universe or like the X-Men universe because they would have all of these mutants, right? And there's like all these powerful mutants. Is that important?
No, that's my father. I don't want to talk to him right now. He can wait. He can wait, sir. Don't call. He calls me the most random times. I'm sorry.
He's probably just checking up on you, right?
He does.
Yeah.
Or he complains about his other two children. Like, oh, why don't they want to talk to me? Why? Yeah. And I'm like, this is my smallest violin that I have.
Was he like bad to you or what?
Should I go into my childhood trauma on this podcast? I mean, I could, but I don't know if the world is ready for that.
No. Well, I mean, if he's calling you, it can't be that bad. I mean, my dad just messaged me on Facebook. He got deported.
Really?
Yeah,
oh, shit.
He was back in Africa.
Oh, my God.
So,
fuck.
Count your blessings.
I know, right?
You got him still. But what were we talking about before this again?
MCU.
Oh, yeah. The MCU universe is interesting, eh? But the X-Men, they always throw in, like, a guy that can grow really long nails, right?
What? Is that, that's a thing?
I don't know, or like, there's like that in the X-Men movie, I remember I was watching it, and they had like all of these mutants in the kids' school, right? That mutant student learning center for Professor X.
Yeah.
And there's this guy blinking, and he was just changing the channel. Like one of the kids was like blinking, and he would change the channel. That was his mutant power. So it's like it's really interesting, a lot of the mutants. But then there's like a guy that can like stick his tongue out really long, like a lizard, and it's like
that's weird.
But they're not very creative after, like, because you got hundreds and hundreds. There's a whole world of mutants. So like after a certain time, it's just like, all right, guy that can produce glue from his hands or something,
I don't think that would be useful in combat. I don't know. Like, Wanda's like the most powerful mutant that I've ever encountered, other than probably maybe Jean Grey.
Jean Grey, yeah.
Jean Grey is also kind of up there too.
But I always thought the Hulk would be the because he could just keep getting angrier, right?
Well, yeah, he can. And then I think can he turn into like the Red Hulk or something?
Mm-hmm. No,
is that something else?
He might have been a different. The Red Hulk, I think, is a different.
That's a different one, yeah.
But
yeah, he can get angrier, but the Hulk can get angrier and get more like just more powerful, right? But the only thing is that I think that they've just delved into Wanda's powers so heavily in the comics.
Oh yeah.
Like she can. At this point, she can she can completely alter reality, and they wouldn't even be like. Obviously, if you watch WandaVision, they weren't even aware of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
but what is Wanda's powers? Because I always thought she just did some magic.
It is magic.
Yeah.
Right, but it was amplified by the Mind Stone, right?
Oh, okay.
Because she was used, I think, after after her home got blown up, right? I guess she was kind of used in human experimentation, and then she got. I think they were using like Loki's scepter, and then shit happens, and then she was like exposed to the Mind Stone.
Well, she was banging Vision.
Not while she was banging Vision. This is before. No, right before. This was like way before. This was way before Vision was even created.
But how did she have the Mind Stone?
Well, she didn't have it. She was exposed to it.
Oh, okay.
And amplified. My guess is that she had the X gene, and I guess the Mind Stone kind of just amplified it.
Okay.
And then that's how she got the crazy powers that she does, right?
Yeah, but it's like it's vague powers because like there'll be times when she's like stopping like a punch, right? And she's like, she could see that she's using her powers, but then in like another instance, she'll just be like, all right, I'm stopping like a train, and she's doing it fairly easy. So it's like I mean,
if you watch like Endgame, like what was those I think those
things falling down.
There was those things falling down that Thanos came, and she just moved them.
She
hand waves
the wrist. Yeah.
She just hand waves away, like, get out of my face.
And I go like, there's certain times, and then like Thanos comes and tries to punch someone, and then she stops.
Well, no, she would if she had to. If she was angry enough, she could probably whooped Thanos' ass, and the whole ending of that movie would have been like, okay, we're done.
No, I think what's her name? What is Captain Marvel? Again, why do they make and even Black Widow? Like, these are women superheroes, right? I don't believe that Black Widow can compete with the Avengers.
Okay, but there is a reason why she's on that team, though.
They needed a girl.
No. Okay, have you seen the original 2012 Avengers? I've seen it.
2012,
the first Marvel ensemble movie. Okay, if you watch the scene...
Are you fangirling out right now?
Yeah, because I love... Black Widow's like my number one.
Okay.
Scarlet Witch is like my number two.
Did you see the movie, Black Widow?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how is it? Is it good?
You know what? I was enjoying myself up until like the final act of that movie, because I think they ruined it with they ruined it with the action sequence.
It was just cut to shit. What was?
I think so, because like I think they were at the point where they were like, she was with her her pseudo family at that point, and I'm like, okay, so they're kind of hashing out all their stuff, right? And I'm like, I thought she forgave her pseudo mother so fast because she was the reason why her childhood was so messed up. And I'm like, I would have been more mad.
You would have held a grudge.
I would have held a grudge for like a little bit, before actively helping this woman out, Like, I understand that she's sorry, and she looks
before the action scene or after?
No, this is right before the action sequence, right?
She forgave.
So she kind of they kind of work together to kind of take down the place that she was like they were enslaving young women and girls.
Okay, for war to be.
Well, yeah, they were like training. Yeah. They were training them, young girls, to be like master assassins. So they took down that finally, right? And I'm like, that whole ending sequence just didn't feel right. I felt like it was a little bit rushed. It kind of seemed out of character, just a smidge, in my opinion. And this is like when I was like actively watching it for the first time on Disney Plus, because obviously I don't think there was a theatrical release, was there?
I'm not too sure.
I don't remember if there was a theatrical release, but anyways.
Might have been, but...
Yeah. But I didn't go. I watched it when it went out onto Disney Plus because I'm like, I don't want to go to a theater.
They probably held it for like about a week or so.
I think so.
Nowadays, they can't wait to get it onto streaming platforms.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, I was like watching it and I'm like, something just didn't sit right. So I watched
inside. It's like empty calories, like chips or something.
Yeah, like I really liked it up until that point, and I'm like, I watched it again and I felt the same way.
Well, I think I lost it because I'm still a fairly big fan of Marvel. I always thought Marvel was better than DC.
But
when they dropped the Joker with DC, I was like, this is such a different skew that we're used to as far as the because DC always tries to be like a kind of darker, more grimy. There's no funny lines. There's no comical relief in a DC movie, and they amped it up with the Joaquin Phoenix and the Joker. It was a really good movie. But then I watched, because before that I watched, I think Endgame. Mm-hmm. Like I liked Infinity War. I thought I was really pumped. I was really pumped for the whole Marvel universe. But I kind of went after watching Infinity War with my friends. I think we ended up doing shrooms in the theater. And we got really high and we went to the theater and watched it. But I just remember thinking I'm like, how are they gonna top this? They're just gonna go back in time and fix everything, and that's what, because I was like reading up on I was flipping through the comic books trying to figure out which story they're gonna use, and then they just did the end game, and it was straight up all right, we're just gonna go back in time and rearrange everything because all that would just save everybody.
I understand where you're coming from. I really do.
Lazy plot line.
I really understand where you're coming from, but I watched the whole way through, and it took me. How long did it take me? It took me and my boyfriend about 2 months to do. Mm-hmm. Around.
You watched the whole thing?
I watched the whole thing from start to finish.
And then there's online. There's you gotta watch it in this type of order. Did you do that?
I did in chronological order.
Chronological. Okay.
Yes, because I think what was that? Yeah, Black Widow just came out onto streaming services, so we decided we wanted to watch it together, starting from because I've only seen maybe 1% of the.
Okay, for the people out there, what can we skip? Because there's so much. There's so much.
The Incredible Hulk. I did not like that one. With Edward Norton.
Edward Norton.
No.
See,
don't watch that.
He tried to make Edward Norton he tried to make the Hulk so sympathetic. He's like, there's no depth into it.
That's not where I'm coming from. Where I'm coming from is the fact that I spent the first half an hour of that movie and I had no idea what the hell I was watching. Yeah. I was like, I'm so confused. And then they kind of dulled it out in the middle.
Well, it was a standalone.
Yeah, it was a standalone. So I'm like, okay. So he's about to go apeshit on these police officers or something. I don't know what the hell they're doing, right? And then I'm like, okay. From a filmmaking perspective, because that's how I look at films. Yeah. It did not make sense.
Filmmaking perspective.
It did not make sense to me.
Why make it, right?
Yeah, it was weird.
It just threw.
I felt like they just threw random plot points in there and they just called it a day.
Yeah, they just want to see. And the thing is, my friend said it best. He's like, dude, they're trying to make the Hulk this deeper connection emotionally, and it's people just want to see the guy get big and mad.
Well, that's see, I understand okay, you want to have sympathy to your characters and everything because that's what makes them characters. That's what makes them human.
But it's the Hulk. You just want to see a guy get angrier.
But with the Hulk,
angrier.
I think that's what the fans are going for, though. Yeah. But the thing is, I don't think their pacing was done right, and that's what hindered the film. Mm-hmm. The second one that would be on my list is Thor: The Dark World. I just did not enjoy myself. I
really enjoyed that for some reason. I watched that, and
I think the first two Thors were kind of
is Natalie Portman? Who is?
It's Natalie Portman.
Thor's wife is Natalie. She's very pretty, and then
Kat
Dennings is.
I love Kat Dennings. Though.
She's funny.
She's hilarious.
Yeah, all the time.
So funny.
And just the shit that she said. I was on Disney Plus actually has this show. It's with Kat Dennings. It's Girls or something.
Two Broke Girls, I think.
Not Two Broke Girls. So she's in another show it's on Disney Plus, I think.
I know she was in. If you're talking about MCU specifically, I know she was in. She was in WandaVision.
Oh, she was?
Yeah, she's in WandaVision.
But I guess because she is in the universe. But no, it was this show with the girl from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, that Asian girl.
Oh, Brenda Song.
Brenda Song. She was in with that, and then there's a couple other just girls.
I think I know what you're talking about. I just don't know the title.
Dollface. That's the call.
Dollface. Yeah,
okay.
I've heard of that though. I've never seen it.
Maybe 4 or 5 episodes of that, and then I just cut Disney Plus off because I'm like, it's literally the only show I was watching, and I was it was kind of losing interest. But it's about like Kat Dennings and how she spent her whole life with her boyfriend, and she was like hanging out with his friends, being a part of his world, and then she kind of like got dumped or whatever. They broke up, and she was sad, and then it was kind of like this whole like building up this like girls need girl time kind of thing.
Yeah, which
kind of like that.
I like that premise. That seems like a very good premise for a show.
Yeah, and I was watching it, and then my mom roasted the shit out of me. She's like, "Why are you watching these fucking dumb young girls?" And then it's like girls partying.
It's not just that though. Like we have our own obviously as you know, you have your own set of struggles as a male, whereas I have my own as a female because we cannot experience the same things, right? Yeah. You know, so we each need our definition of what makes us who we are. Mm-hmm. Right?
And so your environment. And
you need your own space. With. You need to surround yourself with people that you've chosen to come into your life.
Yeah, and familiar with.
Yeah. But anyways, getting back to what I was going to say, because I had a third one. Everyone's going to hate me, though. I didn't like Eternals. I hated it.
Eternals?
I did not like it. It looked good.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It looked good. Angelina Jolie is just like...
She was in that? What is she doing?
I think she was like... her character was Thena. She kind of like made weapons out of her powers. But I'm like... I think the main people, I'm like, okay, Cersei, so you're like...
I heard Eternals wasn't well received, though.
No, the only thing is, okay, the main character, her name was Cersei, right? But they wanted to make it like she was completely empathetic for humans, and I'm like, okay, but how? Mm-hmm. You keep telling us that she is, but how? Yeah. I don't see it. And then her... what was it, boyfriend? I want to say boyfriend because I have no idea what the hell they are. Okay, Icarus is kind of like a tool bag.
Yeah.
Because I guess, like, okay, he's trying to be, like, morally... He thinks he's morally justified in what he's doing, and then he yeets himself into the sun. I wish I was joking. He literally yeets himself into the sun. Okay. And I'm just like, you
what
coward.
Did he do? He just died? He killed himself?
I think so, yeah. He just yeeted himself into the sun. And I'm like, all that for that?
But what are the Eternals? What are they? What is it?
Okay, they're like, you know how Celestials were in Guardians? They're kind of like that, but they're like gods. They're like this. Have you watched Guardians 2?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes. Okay, so you know how Ego's father was kind of like a celestial type on that kind of power level. I think what they were is a little bit higher than that. They're
I watched it. I didn't study it, but
it doesn't make sense.
His father, like Star-Lord's father.
Yeah, you know.
Okay, that he's a celestial.
Well, kinda, sorta, yeah. I don't know how to explain it because the Eternals. Yeah. As a comic, I heard was not very developed in the right way, so I don't know why they adapted Eternals to begin with, because it's not really clear cut, you know. Because they live.
To be honest though, like I just still don't know what are like they're just the gods that watch or something. Are they?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that? Okay.
Yeah, and then they explained why they couldn't help when Thanos attacked, and I'm like.
Yeah. Did they explain that or not?
Yeah, they did.
What did they say? They're like,
I think it was something to do with like, it had to happen type of thing. Or that's the kind of vibe I got from it because I don't remember the exact words.
So are the Eternals like Canada and the U.S. with Ukraine and Russia? Like, we're not gonna let Thanos and the Avengers get.
Well, to be fair, they wanted to bring back their god who was birthing from the earth.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. It was weird because I really could not connect to any like one character. I mean, I liked who was playing people. Like I said, Angelina Jolie, fire.
You need those. You need some sort of characters.
Yeah, like there was like when you watch. There was the guy who plays Ringo. I don't remember not Ringo or Kingo or something like that. I don't remember what his name is, but he's a well-known actor another well-known actor. I just don't remember his name. Mm-hmm. But either way, Eternals could have been better. It looks good though. That's all I can say.
Skip. Obviously, the Hulk. I agree with you with the Hulk. Skip the Hulk. Dark World. You're not missing much, right?
No, because the only thing I feel like it introduces is the Reality Stone.
Yeah.
It really just that's all it does. I like Thor. Like, because
But
Thor...
with his shirt off,
well, no.
he could get it. But
I'm just saying, like, Thor kind of raised itself to a new level once Ragnarok was released. I'm like, you just done it for the memes, and I love it.
But it's that Ragnarok was amazing, and it was so vibrant, Ragnarok. Like, so colorful. It was, I don't even know, was it in 3D? It probably wasn't in 3D, but
I don't think it was, but when I watched
it, colorful.
Yeah, it was it's vibrant. I can give it that.
Camera work was great.
Yes,
it's cool to the Hulk. That it's like the Gray Hulk. That was a different kind of Hulk, right? Like the Hulk where he's just been Hulk for so long.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to be Bruce Banner, right?
It's levels, and I get that. Like the Dark World didn't really give you anything, really.
No, not really.
We need the what is it?
See,
the lore.
Yeah, the lore. Well, for me personally,
each movie has to push something.
Yeah, the reason why I gravitate towards the MCU now after watching it is because of all the stories behind the hero, right? Like Black Widow, for example. I really connected with her just due to how, like, her background and how she grew up and everything. Not that I said that I was a...
You're basically like her, though.
Yeah, but I'm not saying, like, I'm a master assassin or anything, obviously. But, I'm saying, like, okay, I can empathize and relate to how she grew up and how she is now, right? I think there was a line in Infinity, or I think in Endgame.
Like a strong, independent woman.
Yes, because there was a line or not in Infinity War, Endgame, where she was like she was leading the Avengers for about 5 years. She's getting pretty sick of it, from what we could tell, and she's stressed out. But
she jumped in. She tried to jump in before Hawkeye. Was it Hawkeye that did it?
No. This is right before that. This is right before the heist was even considered. But Captain America walks into the room and they're just having a chat. And she's like, even despite after losing half the world, she's still trying to do better. And that's what kind of, like, I think solidified it for me. I'm like, okay, she's still trying to do better, regardless of what she's been through or what she's done. Like
Hawkeye, that just went crazy, started assassinating everybody after they lost his wife. He went crazy, right? He just started assassinating all these drug dealers. And
he did. See, but after watching the show... I kind of...
Hawkeye, you get it?
I get it now, but when I was watching it in theaters for the first time, I'm like, okay, you're kind of stupid.
You're going crazy. But,
like, you just went nuts for no reason. Like, like, are you going... Like, this was... He reminded me of, like, Stark before the suit.
I think they written it in, because, like, there's so many memes, right, about how Hawkeye's just a guy. He's just a loser with a bow. He's not really a tough guy. So they had to write in something like...
to give him depth and character. Well, I think, honestly, they should have released Hawkeye before. Like, way before. Same with Black Widow. But it took 10 years to make a Black Widow film, but still. I think she was done dirty. Out of all the Avengers, she was completely done dirty.
But they also... Like, she was complaining about her money.
Well, yeah, they had that lawsuit. I think she ended up winning.
Nice.
Yeah, she ended up winning.
Because they can't really... I don't think they could do a Black... She is Black Widow. Like,
yeah, but if the roles were reversed, Disney would come after her, no problem. Right? They would have no... they would do it. Yeah, they would do it instantly. So I think it's very... if Disney breached her contract, then I think she has every right to sue.
That's funny.
Every single right.
There's also, like, there's this Disney thing that they had going on, I think, at Disneyland or Disney World or something, where it was like they had this like Native American, but they used the term like Indianette. They had a bunch of like people dancing, and it was like appropriating Native American culture, because it was a lot of like Eastern European white women dancing, but they were dancing like that.
Okay, so they were.
So it was like.
So they were offending indigenous culture.
Kind of, yeah. It was appropriating the culture, and I guess like the Disney was just under a lot of flack for that.
Well, yeah, rightfully so, because indigenous, even here in Winnipeg, is still a very underrated
minority.
Yeah, exactly. Like I know a lot of people who are out on the reserve that don't even have fresh water, and that really pisses me off, because every human, I think, is entitled to at least their basic needs met. Exactly, having clean drinking water is part of that, which doesn't it doesn't make sense to me why we haven't conquered this issue yet after years and years. Like, don't even get me started with the residential schools, because that was just that's crap on the shit cake,
Yeah.
Like, we're still, and they keep saying, oh, go, we're trying to do forgiveness. But, like, how?
Yeah.
You're not doing anything. All you're doing is undercovering burial grounds of these children and not even giving these guys at least for
Did
clean
Justin
drinking.
Trudeau ever address that? Did he ever address that?
He addressed it. He's apologized publicly for it, but I don't even think his actions are not showing, in my opinion.
Yeah, because
they are not.
If it's the unmarked graves, like the action would be to figure out who these families belong to, right?
And then give them
some sort of like
closure.
I mean, even it's money is better than than nothing, right?
I understand.
Because I got my stepbrother's mother is part Native American, or actually full. Actually, she had to deal with being in a residential school growing up, and her family or her bloodline, right? And I remember because we were young, right? We were like having pizza or something, and she said that she got the check for the her, I guess because her family or maybe she was. I think she was in a residential school, so they gave like what is it, compensation or something like that?
Yeah, I heard about that. That's
I don't know the exact word, but she got like a check. It was like $47 something thousand, right? Like a year's pay because she was a nurse, I think, a healthcare nurse. And she's like, it's a year's pay. It's nice, but like, to be honest, like this is like a slap in the face. You know what I mean? It's like, here's some money. Forget about what we did. It's just like,
I don't know. I feel like there's
equal treatment would be a lot better. Like the stigma, especially.
Yeah, I think they were trying to just sweep it under the rug and just be like, forget about it. Mm-hmm. And like residential schools were not made illegal until like the late 90s. Yeah. So this is still a recent issue.
I don't know. Were you there when I did a whole stuff? We were in just background for the people. We were in radio, television, broadcast. We took that course together.
Yes,
I remember. I did that course. We talked about
residential schools.
Yeah.
Because you were there already about to finish when
you were
about to leave. I just came, right? Mm-hmm. Residential schools did come up, but I think it was after you left. Mm-hmm. A student at the same school made a presentation about it, and he won an award.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did.
How did he do that?
I think it was like.
Is it just so good?
Well, no, the school was having like a contest. It was like a contest.
Oh, okay.
So the students were encouraged to make a presentation or a speech about anything, and I think he did it about residential schools.
I did so much research. I should have stayed in. I could have won that. I did it because I knew a lot. I did study a lot about that,
it makes me cry. It makes me want to cry. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like just seeing some of the stuff because the thing is, I didn't know, and it makes me so upset that was a part of Canada's history. That it will be a part of Canada's history. People could say like, oh yeah, Canada's like the nicer one of North America. When I don't think that's entirely true at all.
I think Canada is obviously what happens in the past is what happens, but you can't really change the past.
Obviously. Right?
But moving forward, a lot of what's the worst thing that happens in Canada?
But we also we have to acknowledge that we still have a racist past when we
that
clearly
and there's probably a lot of people holding those kind of ideals too. Yeah, a lot of people.
Because
there is racism everywhere, though.
There is. I agree with you 100%. It's down in the States and it's up here too. Mm-hmm. But we can't just sweep it under the rug, saying that we're the nicer country out of the two, when I know that we're not.
But what would just focused on the residential schools? What would be the they gave money? I would say just fixing reservations would be a big thing. Yes. Because they signed a bill, a couple $1 billion, and it was just last year to try to get a nice working, water. It's okay, 2021? Mm-hmm. They're finally, they did sign some bills to get it. So it wasn't even, last time I checked, it wasn't even a plan. It was just we're signing some bills so that they're going to get in the future. So it was I was kind of going off, I guess, last year on the podcast about how stupid that is. Like, it's like time's like
it's
passed so long for you to just finally get some water.
Yeah, and it's 2021. People are not going physically walking to a well and getting water. This isn't the 1800s anymore. We clearly have accessible ways to give these people water, but I don't understand why they don't.
Yeah.
And that makes me angry, and it just makes me upset, because I recognize, like, I know I am like half white, but I'm also...
You're half white?
Yes, I am.
Oh, nice.
But the thing, I understand my privilege, right? You know, I'm part Filipino, I'm part white.
But I mean.
But I understand my privilege.
You don't have that. It's not a big privilege, though. Like.
But the thing
because you're a woman.
I am, yes, but if I looked a certain way, I know I will be more oppressed. Because I am a woman.
I think even if you had an accent, people would treat you differently.
Exactly.
It's different.
Exactly. But I recognize in that myself, and that it's just, I don't think it's fair. You know what I mean? It just makes me upset about that.
To relate to you, what you said, the weirdest thing is, and I'm gonna I guess I'll call my mom out on this one, right? I remember when I was young, like really young, and we were actually just walking. I think I was just walking home from daycare or something. So I must have been like maybe 8 or 9 at the time. And I remember just my mom saying, like, I would just say, like, you know, maybe I got like a sunburn or something, that like I was like, you know, Mom, am I really like black, or what, you know, because like I'm like white or whatever. And my mom said, you know, I was really worried what you're gonna look like, right? She said every mom does worry about what their child's gonna look like when they're having a baby. And she said, and you came out and you were really white, and she was like happy, because she's like, you know, that your skin will help you longer in life. Like, it'll be better for you in the long term when you get older. And I was like, that's a really honest way to look at it. Kind of, it was really racist, but it was the 90s, right?
I mean, I can hold truth in what she says. Like, because I can even tell you how I grew up. Like, I was treated differently.
Mothers want, but most mothers want the best for their child. Yeah,
because, like, you know, I was raised by my mother, right? She's full Filipino.
Okay, so right? Was she from the Philippines?
Yes.
Okay.
But she...
And your dad, too?
No, my dad's from Ontario.
Okay, yeah, so you're half, sorry.
Yes.
So she met him in Ontario?
No, like, they met here, because my dad, I think... I don't remember how they met her or whatever, because a lot of that was a blur. Yeah. But
so I'm going to have a smoke, because I was just... Sorry to interrupt. It's all good to have a smoke.
I guess so.
I was just looking... I just got to grab it.
I'll wait.
No, keep going.
Okay.
It's all good.
So as I was saying, like, I do vividly, like, not vividly, but I do remember parts of my childhood where I felt, not, I guess ostracized is the right word, by my peers. And I think it was for my looks.
Like, how long, I mean, how old were you? Like, I
was in grade school. Like, I remember, like, maybe grade 5, grade 6. Grade, like middle school especially. And you grew up around like a lot of like white kids? I grew up around a lot of Filipino kids, believe it or not. Oh, okay. Like half of my class was Filipino, but the thing is they all thought I was indigenous. And really? I get a lot of, oh, you look indigenous. What reserve are you from? Yeah. I'm like, I'm not. Yeah. I'm not. I was raised here. But the thing is, like I said, that kind of made me, like, I didn't relate to anyone. I couldn't relate to the white kids fully, right? But I couldn't relate to the Filipino kids who I was trying to get along with. Yeah. Right? And it was so hard. That's the story of my life. Look at, like, it was hard. I'm a black guy that looks white. Like, it's like it's so hard. My black friends make fun of me for getting sunburn, and my white friends make fun of me for liking chicken. You know what? Like, I get whitewashed. I used to get whitewashed. Yeah. I'm whitewashed. Yes. Yeah. And it's horrible because, like, I know. You can't really change who you are. You got half white in you, right? Exactly. So then I'm like, okay, maybe I should tan my skin. Get a little darker, you know? Because I didn't feel like I fit in with anybody. Go to the beach. Take your boyfriend to the beach. I did. Yeah? I got a little tan. Does he burn? I don't know. We were only there for like 5 hours. Get him some suntan lotion or whatever. But either way, I'm just like, I don't know. I just, like I said, I did not feel like I belonged anywhere because it was hard to fit in with both, right? Like, I grew up with very Filipino foods for the most part. And, I'd bring leftovers. Well,
Do you eat rice a lot?
oh, I constantly.
Oh, yeah?
I constantly.
I just had rice stir fry last. Have you been to Palatels? Stir fries, where you get to like make your own stir fry kind. It's like Subway.
No,
but stir fry.
I live in Transcona. I go to freaking Mongo's, man.
Oh, Mongo's is so good. Mongo's, and you get to pick everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's so good. And
I think the last time I've been
tell
there.
them how to make it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so
last
good.
time I was there, I took all my friends and we were just like chilling.
Mongo's. What kind of food is that? It's like everything, right?
It's
not,
like a bit of everything.
It's not like specific, like Vietnamese or.
No, it's not specific. It's like a mixing pot type of thing. You can make it whatever the hell you want it to be.
That's the best. Yeah, I get like shrimp. Those like cutlets, those beef cutlets. So good.
I do shrimp and chicken. I don't really eat red meat that much.
Have you been to
IGI?
IGI, yeah.
I
You
have.
get to throw it on the grill yourself and stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have not been there in such a long time though. I really want to go back.
Yeah,
It's expensive though.
Take your boyfriend.
I want to. I mentioned it.
And tell him like, hey, my ring fingers, getting a little, it's getting a little too tanned. I want to tell him that. And
See, and I'm wearing 2 rings right now,
Yeah.
right? So I'm like, okay, where's my wedding ring?
know.
Where's the engagement ring? Like I
This is
even
blind
told him,
pressure.
No. Like I even told him like, this is the kind of ring I want because I'm basic, okay?
Just say, hey, I didn't buy a computer. You should have enough for. I didn't buy.
I'm like, no, and I even tell them like, you can get the best deal because I sell gold, and my manager would approve like the best deal for you, dude.
Because you work at a pawn shop.
Yeah.
Right? So like you just get like someone else's wedding ring though. Like how would you feel about that?
No. It's not someone else's. Like I don't believe in that whole buying secondhand jewelry is bad juju or something. I don't understand that kind of whole ordeal.
You just wash it a little bit and it should be good.
No.
A little bit of soap and water.
No, you get it professionally cleaned, okay?
Okay.
First of all, because I worked at a jewelry store too. I didn't tell you that, but I worked at a jewelry
store?
I don't want to mention it.
Okay, so
I worked at a jewelry store.
Well, I used to go around if I was on a date with a girl and we'd go to the mall, right? I'd walk into the. This is so stupid. It's so stupid. I would walk into the store with like a girl that I just met and just go, hey, do you guys have any raw diamonds? I'm in the raw diamond business. And no jeweler has raw diamonds, right? They're like, sorry, no, we can't find you any raw diamonds. Like,
That's the thing. They're
just talk and pretend like I had enough money.
Obviously, yeah. They order it. They order it out of the country.
But it's already cut, though. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
By the time they get it. So, but it's a good flex because you'll never have to pay for anything. You can't like, oh, how much is if you ask about certain things. So
that's like I said, that's true to an extent. But I'm just like, I just don't understand the whole like used jewelry is bad jewelry type of thing. It doesn't make sense because
if someone died in their jewelry. Some people, it's like a house.
That's
right?
different.
Like
that's different. But if they're at the pawn shop, I think it's a little different because that's just irresponsible.
Well, it's like a murder. Your murder happened to take the jewels, and then that's at the pawn shop.
Oh my god! Don't even get me started.
Did you have any things in the pawn shops? Like, what's the stories?
Oh, do you want me to tell? Oh, this is a weird story.
This
is so weird.
Would ask you, but but you never tell me. But
this is really weird, and I can't believe I'm about to admit this. So, someone took in. I don't remember if it was me or someone else, but we had a stripper pole, brand spanking new. Yeah.
How did he get it through the door?
It's brand new. It's brand new, sealed in the box.
Oh, okay, in the box.
Yeah. So we took it in, and you'll never guess who bought it.
Who?
One of the employees.
Yeah, like a girl or a guy?
A guy.
And he's like, I'm gonna get my wife or.
I think it's for his girlfriend.
That's dope. No, that's a boss move.
So weird.
That's a boss move. Like, what if
because I saw it gone the next day, and I'm like, oh, who bought it? And he's like, it was one of the older guys.
Yeah.
And he bought it. So I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna question it then.
How old?
I think he's like mid-30s.
Oh, that's not that old.
That's not bad. That's not that bad.
10 years older than you.
But I think his girlfriend is around 10 years older than him. So.
Oh, nice. So she's like 40.
Yeah.
What's with these old guys? What's these young guys getting old girls? But.
Oh, she doesn't look good. Trust me.
She doesn't look good.
No, no. She doesn't look old.
Okay.
I've met her.
And you think she'd be good at dancing?
I don't know. I don't think about that. I don't think about that. That's not what goes on in here.
But you don't sexualize women like that? Like, because I thought if
are you sure?
Should we drop it or no?
No,
okay.
Not for you.
If I seen girls like I see guys like I could see like we talked about Thor. I could see Thor and I'd be like, I think he would be great in the Magic Mike position.
He
was shaking his ass.
He would, and he would gladly do so as well because that's his personality, right?
Like, or Matthew McConaughey. I mean, they're good-looking guys, right?
Right.
Channing Tatum, good-looking guys. I can admit that. So, do you think the girls? You said she looks young.
Yeah.
Does she look good?
I think coming from me personally, I think she's pretty. But I wouldn't
stay
go
off the
there.
pole.
I wouldn't look. That's just that's just my
tips.
thing.
No tips for her.
No, not for me personally.
Make it rain change.
Oh my god.
Or fake.
See, I have a type. Okay. Well, for obvious reasons, I have a type when it comes to each gender. Though.
If you seen a girl, right? Like, do you think Angelina Jolie's attractive?
Yes.
Like a skinny white girl?
No, I mean. Let's not I don't want to body shame and be like, oh, I just go after skinny people because it's not like that, right?
Not,
No, because my first girlfriend was on the large. She was on the large
chunky
side.
Girl.
Yeah, she was chunkier.
Oh yeah,
much chunkier than me though. So, but I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But what I'm saying is though,
fat girls need love too. They do. They do. Yeah.
But like I said, it's more so it's different for both genders for me because sometimes I'm like, okay, well, some of these girls might be blonde, and I'm like, oh, dang, they're hot, right?
Oh, yeah.
But then I'll see taller, much taller, long, some people who are conventionally look I don't want to say look like me, but conventionally longer hair, dark hair, tall. I'm like.
Some Amazon type babes.
Yes. Yes. 2 thumbs up for me.
I've been looking at because I'm balding, right? I'm basically balding. I was in a crash, picking glass out of my hair, so it fucked up my whole hair line. It's now receding. But I've just noticed girls' hair so much. I'm talking to all these girls. They're like, oh, I'll just be at a store or something, and I'll just be flirting with a girl, and I'll comment on her hair, and it's not even really even from a creepy perspective. I've just really enjoy if a girl really has her hair done well. I'm really into that. That's been slowly developed because I never really cared so much before. I always just would enjoy if a girl had nice hair. But now I think it's amped up just because I'm it's my weakness, right? It's the one thing that I'm missing. Be cool. I guess it's some primitive biological need. It's okay, I don't have good hair, so maybe instinctually I would like to find a partner with really good hair. That way my future baby would have good hair, right? It's a weird instinct that but it's just I've just noticed I'm checking out girls' hair a lot more than just
Yeah, well, it's not all just physical for me either. Obviously, it's all about how they present themselves physically and how they present their personality. Because you can look good, but act like a completely fucking act like a complete dick.
Yeah, that's
right?
Or just boring. There's a lot of
or if we don't if we
boring.
don't connect on that kind of emotional personality level too. I want to be connected with somebody. I want to my partner is my best friend.
Yeah, he's Mennonite too, right?
Yeah.
And
I always have to bring up the fact that he's Mennonite.
So you guys connect while you're milking cows and stuff
no,
that.
I don't milk cows. Okay. No.
What does he paint? He's a painter, right?
Yeah, he's a painter.
What does he paint? Does he paint
He paints commercial and residential housing.
Housing. Okay. So he's not on a canvas like Bob Ross?
No, he's not Bob Ross.
I was imagining him being.
No, he's in construction.
That's why I was before this podcast. I was kind of making him into a softer guy because you said he's a painter, so I go
no.
So Andy Warhol.
No, he's a construction guy. He's been working in construction for a while. I think he used to work at he used to work at a cabinet shop until I think they closed his. I think they laid him off.
Yeah.
And then. He's now a subcontracted painter.
Oh, that's nice though. That's good.
But he's been working with his company for almost 2 years. He's doing really well actually. I'm surprised.
Yeah, painting houses it's excruciatingly you got to be detailed. You can't leave.
Yeah.
Certain spots.
Yeah. Well, he's looked at as a higher up, so he's
nice.
like a supervisor kind of level. They didn't give him a title, but that's what he's looked on.
Why don't you move in with him?
I want to. It'll be cheaper.
Yeah.
For sure.
You guys would save some money.
Yeah, exactly. We would obviously
instead of living with your fucking manager, you
okay.
live with your manager.
I know.
Myself.
I know.
So
but the
bad.
thing is, this is how it is. So he's wanting, once he's done doing his taxes this year, he wants to buy a house.
Yeah.
And then he'll use whatever he has off of his condo, because that's where he lives. Bring his roommate, because he has another guy living with them. And he's going to be looking for houses. I asked him if we could look for something halfway kind of thing. Halfway to Winnipeg, halfway to Steinbach. So when I do get a car eventually, because they're expensive, we can go in. I'd be able to see my the family that I do talk to, and my friends. Yeah. I'd be able to go see them once in a while, and he'd be able to go see his side of the family in Steinbach and go to work there.
What's the nearest city from here to Steinbach?
City, major city?
Not major city, but town. What are those?
St. Anne, La Broquerie.
St. Anne's is
Mitchell.
20, 30 minutes away, Huh? St. Anne's is pretty close. 20 minutes.
Blue Minort, technically, because that's in between.
Blue Minort's an hour still, though.
No, Blue Minort's a few minutes north.
Oh,
you just take, I don't remember what route that highway is, but I think it's No, I don't remember what the highway is, but I know where I'm going when I drive there.
Could you convince him to come to the city?
He said to me in person, the closest he'll ever go is Lorette.
Oh yeah.
Because housing in Winnipeg is extremely expensive, and if we wanted to get a house in Winnipeg that we both liked at a good price that we want, we would have to sacrifice area.
But he's moving in with his roommate. You guys.
He's taking his roommate with him. Yeah. Pretty much.
Does his roommate pay? Right?
Yeah, he pays.
Yeah, then you could probably find if he's buying the house, you could probably find a $1,500 mortgage a month, right?
Well,
then you split it 3 ways. You guys.
Well, the thing is, where he's also kind of trying to make make the money off of it too, type of thing. Because what do you call it? If I move in with him,
get a 4-bedroom, right? Okay, so you got a 4-bedroom.
And then rent out the other rooms.
Yeah, because you would probably sleep with your boyfriend. So you got 2 other rooms. You got the roommate. He's occupied. So you got 2 rooms. You got 2 free rooms. And then maybe you could have one, just a normal person. And in another one, you get a prostitute. And you just whore her out. And then you guys are making calls. You're pimping,
Yeah, but
she's flipping money. She has money. Just tell her to help around with the bills. Maybe you could then eventually hire some more maids. Obviously, they're topless, right? You and your boyfriend are enjoying it because they're beautiful. Yeah,
clearly. But I'm just but the thing is, we also want our kind of space because we're both big nerds too.
Yeah. Nerding out over MCU? Is he?
Well, no, he. Oh, you want to know? He has the biggest one.
Does he have Elden Ring?
No. Harry Potter.
Harry Potter?
He's a big Harry Potter fan.
Harry Potter?
He watched it 2 times. He read the books. He has a bunch of Lego sets that he's assembled himself.
Oh yeah, Harry Potter? Harry Potter Legos?
Harry Potter.
That's a good hobby though.
I know it is. It's very calming. You know what? I can agree because we've done sets together and I'm oh, this is so relaxing.
Yeah, I thought it was nerd, even puzzles. But then I did a puzzle and it's so it takes your mind off of everything. It's a stress relief. Yeah,
it is. And that's why I bought he's gotten into puzzles recently, so I got myself a puzzle. I didn't assemble yet, but I do that. I also got myself a coloring book. That's kind of childish, but I color, to de-stress.
Yeah,
sometimes if I'm really really nervous, then I'm just okay, let's color, we do this. But you know what? It's actually a very relaxing time that I get to spend with him. Obviously, it's just that he has so much that he lives in an 800 square foot condo, so there's no room to assemble any more Lego.
Oh yeah, because he already has so much already.
He has 2 shelves full. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
I have a shelf full. Well, no, it's half Lego, half Funko Pop.
If Funko Pops, you got Funko Pops? I was gonna say, well, at least it's better than Funko Pops.
I have Funkos.
You got Funkos?
Yeah.
But how much?
I only have 5.
Okay, but it's not enough to damaging. Because I know this guy, he has to collect them. He has to collect them, and he has hundreds.
See, that's the thing.
It's thousands of dollars deep.
I'm not into that. I will get Funko Pops of characters that I really, really like.
What characters do you have?
Well, I have Black Widow. I have an Amazon exclusive for Black Widow.
Nice.
I have Betty Cooper from Riverdale.
Got
gifted.
Betty Cooper yet?
Yeah, I have.
Betty.
It was a gift.
Nice.
I have Janet from The Good Place holding her little cactus.
Okay.
I have Iron Spider from from Avengers Endgame. I have one more. I just don't remember what it was. I'm blanking. Yeah, I'm really blanking. I have one more, but I don't remember what it was.
Harry Potter.
Yes.
Harry Potter,
yes.
Really?
Hermione Granger in the third movie with the time turner and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I got...
That's dope.
Yeah, but the thing is, what's better is that I got Ron Weasley.
Yeah.
And I gave it to him.
And okay, so he's got Ron and you got Hermione?
Yes.
But did they? Is the relationship... Are they shipped?
Well, no, they got married. They got married.
Okay, at the end. Cause to be honest, I thought that was... a nightmare from Harry Potter. His nightmare,
no.
like, oh man, my best friend's banging my sister now.
Oh god.
Huh? But I guess it was canon. Okay.
Well, no, like it was Ron and Hermione and Harry and Ginny.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, what you're saying is right, but you got
Ginny
is Ron's sister. So yeah, you got the sentiment right.
That's okay.
But you applied it to the wrong character.
He's banging his sister. Okay.
He is, yeah.
Harry Potter, but I for some reason I always thought Harry Potter was gonna be shipped with Hermione.
See, and that's where I thought it was going to go too, but I kind of view them more as like a brother or sister kind of relationship.
And I think that's what makes it such a good, because it's like, it's the expected, and what makes J.K. Rowling a good writer is she didn't really go to the expected like routes.
Yeah, but she kind of regrets it now, so I'm like...
But Ron should have got with Ginny, because...
No, that they're siblings, dude.
Oh yeah, my bad. But they're so much alike.
They are. The thing is,
So.
I haven't read the books, so I don't understand book Ginny from movie Ginny, because I find movie Ginny very flat.
What are you doing, stepsister?
Huh? No.
What?
No, there's different.
Yeah.
I'm saying like Ginny in the movies is completely different from Ginny in the books.
Okay.
And I find Ginny in the movies to be quite flat as a character.
Okay, fine.
But I have heard from almost everyone I know who has actually read the books. They've explained that Ginny is a more well-rounded character in the books than in the movies. 100%. So.
Well, because in the books you have so much more time to explain the depths of characters.
Exactly,
it's always better, I think.
Yeah, it's just like I can't really get behind reading all those 7 books, considering like the last 3 are like big.
When I was a kid, I read the first 3 and I really liked them, and I tried to read but then after a while it becomes tedious once you get a little bit older.
Yeah, well, actually, like they've expanded the universe quite a lot. I think you've heard of Fantastic Beasts, right? Yeah, they're releasing.
I watched that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched the first one. I thought it was pretty good.
It was good. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen the second one yet, but they're making a third. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, we should go. My boyfriend and I were wanting to go see that when it when it releases and everything. Mm-hmm. And I think he's like, they're making an open world video game. About Harry Potter, about the universe.
That'd be really cool.
It is. It's coming It's coming around the holidays at the end of this year.
Awesome.
They released gameplay, like I'm gonna say, like almost last week, and they released a good amount of gameplay, and it seems very in depth with what the studios are trying to do with it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I can't wait, because I'm probably gonna pre-order that game and get it.
As long as, because I mean, there are so many Harry Potter games, right? And they just kind of felt like you're so limited in the world.
Yeah.
Like you can't. There's a path that you have to go down. But it'd be cool to just
take your time and do whatever the heck you want.
Side quests, or I always
exactly, because the Harry Potter universe is kind of, I think, is meant for that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because there's so much lore. There's the beasts. You can learn
interesting characters. The new spells. That
you can learn spells, charms. You can make potions and stuff. Because I've always been to him. I'm like, okay, if there was ever a Harry Potter game, I'd very much be into like casting spells. Yeah. Because I find that so interesting. Like, trying to cast spells, dueling. Mm-hmm. That's kind of my jam.
Different shit, yeah.
See, he's different. He likes to learn how to make the potions and stuff.
Oh yeah,
he's more of the potions guy.
He's a potions guy.
I know, right? Like, it's weird. That's weird. But
what is that? When's his birthday?
May 13th.
Oh, you guys are both Taurus?
Yeah, we are.
Oh wow.
His I'm May 1st. His is May 13th. May 13th,
yeah.
So we're like dope. 12 days apart, but he's like 2 years older than I am. Okay. I'm like, so now naturally, I want to spend our birthdays together. Yeah. So we just don't have to do like twice in 1 month because I find that's expensive.
Well, you just go visit. Do you just end up visiting for like a week or two?
No, like I usually visit for like a weekend at the very most. Like with my schedule now, I can only go out like Friday evenings, come back Saturday morning, and then I gotta go to work. Yeah. And the only time I've actually ever been there is I actually took off vacation time for a week. Or no, I took vacation off because I had so many banked hours that they could have paid me for that 1 week.
Oh yeah.
That's how many banked hours I accumulated at that time.
You gotta start taking advantage of the vacation time, Alyssa.
Yeah, but
treat yourself.
Okay, here's the thing.
Days.
I don't have vacation time anymore.
Oh, you used it all, or?
No, because I quit in November.
Why'd you quit?
Because I was so done with the pawn shop. I'm still done with the pawn shop.
But did you live with your manager at the time? And while you quit, that's gotta be so awkward. Like, fuck you, I'm going home. Fuck you, I'm going home. I'm out of here.
No, because the thing is, I'm a very empathetic person. So I cried.
You cried at quitting?
Yeah. Oh, even though I hated the place. Oh, boy. So anyway, I cried. Went to the jewelry store for about 3 weeks, and I felt like I was just in the exact same position. I liked everyone I was working with. It was just management that was.
So you're like going in a circle, and you decided to go back.
Yeah, because it was better than taking EI, and if I would have taken EI, I would have dragged out quite a bit.
And you make less money, right, on EI?
Yeah, like 55% up to. So I'm like, okay, then I'll just go back to the pawn shop. It's easier than taking EI right now, and I'm just doing full time until like second week of April, and then I'm going back to school and working on the weekends pretty much. So I wouldn't be able to go to Steinbach as much anymore because, I'll have to book those days off, and I don't know if I'll be able to afford that.
So how long, before you quit, how many vacation hours did you have?
I had like 3 weeks worth of vacation.
Oh, shit.
And
so
they paid it.
Oh, they paid it out?
They paid it out.
So nice. You balled in for a little bit?
I was for like the first couple of weeks, yeah. I still have some saved up, obviously.
And your boyfriend still didn't let you get a gaming rig?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, because he's cheap, okay?
He's cheap?
He's cheap.
Well, you know...
I asked him to buy me a car. That's much more useful.
Yeah. And it's about the same amount of money, too. I had like thousands of dollars.
See, like I said to you earlier, I can buy a car. It's maintaining it. That's the problem.
Well, gas. Now.
Gas, insurance. If there's any work that needs to be done, I have to pay it out of pocket, which I'm like, okay... But I can't do that on my current salary right now. Not that I work salary, but
well, I had like something happen last year with my car. It was the ruts or something, like the shock mounts just fucked up. Nothing too bad, but it was also like pretty much like they were shocked to shit. Like the shocks were like falling off pretty much, and it cost like $3,500 to about $4,000 just to fix. And then I had also on top of that some engine problems or something. I had to get a new battery and stuff, and all that stuff all just added up, and
it does add up.
$4,500 left. I'm just like, I took out a loan to get that paid off, and I was just like, this is ridiculous. Like,
I know.
Like, it's literally like set me back. All the money I'm trying to save up, it's like, well, now it's like
back at square one.
Yeah. Still in debt, and even worse now. And
it's ridiculous because I'm like looking not only on like used dealerships, I'm looking privately as well. But I also feel like in both areas I don't know if they jacked up the prices or they just
used cars.
Yeah, it's jacked up.
My friend said that a couple months ago. He's like, we did a podcast in I think January. He was telling me it's ridiculous because of the pandemic, the shortages with the ship line, the whole
that's
thing.
what I heard. That's what I've heard from people, and it pisses me off because like I'm just trying to. It was harder enough for me when I was living at home to get my license because we couldn't afford to pay for student or for driver's ed, let alone driving classes.
To be honest, it'd probably be cheaper to get a brand new car than to get
it would. In the long run. In the long run, yes. But like, when you're 23 and you don't have that much credit established for yourself, then who's gonna allow you to sign? You're gonna always 99% of the time you're gonna need a cosigner. and I don't know a lot of people who would co-sign for me.
No, all of those cars, good credit, bad credit, no problem. Just go to one of those shark dealers.
Oh, those shark dealers. But then don't they charge you interest out the ass though?
Just pay double of what the car's worth and walk out with a car. You got a car.
Way. I would never do that because I'm like, I don't want to pay as much interest as the thing's worth.
I had a friend, I got that I was working with. He told me, he's like, well, you bought your car with the in-store financing. What I did is, like, he's like, how much do you pay your car? My car was worth like 20-something thousand, but I ended up paying 37,000. It's almost double, basically double. And he's like, what you should do is just go to get how much the car is worth, and go to a bank, get the bank to loan you, and then just pay the bank and do it yourself, so you don't have to pay like that commission or like the dirty whatever guy.
I'd rather do that. The only thing is
a little bit smarter.
It would be, although I've checked this out too. It also depends on the age of the car as well, and that kind of limits how much or how many months they'll allow you to like pay that loan. The newer cars, if it's like a newer one, like within a year, they'll go as far as like maybe 72 months type of thing. Whereas if it's like 10 years, sometimes if it's like 10 years old and it's, like, I think where I was looking, the minimum that you could take out is like $7,500 or something. They'll only you'll have to pay it back within that year.
That'd be pretty hard.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was like doing the calculations and stuff like that, and I'm like, I have to pay this much per month.
Yeah.
Per month?
It's over $500 per month.
Yeah, that's ridiculous on a $7,500 loan.
I was paying $500 a month on my car.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's like, yeah, and it was bad. It was like I had to start driving a truck, or else I wouldn't have been able to pay off my car. It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like I said, I didn't grow up in like the most, like, I guess with the house with most amenities or something like that. We barely had food on the table half the time. But like, everything that I worked for, I worked myself. Like, I just realized, I didn't have a job, and I was like, dang, I really should. Now that I look back, I should have taken the driver's ed classes, but like, I was like, who's gonna afford that? We can afford that.
Yeah.
And now I have to do it the hard way, paying like $90 per 1.5 sessions with my instructor. I'm fortunate enough that my boyfriend also helps out with that too.
Helps you out.
Yeah.
Paying for it? He doesn't help you out teaching you how to drive?
Well, he does, obviously. Like when we have the chance.
Does he drive a truck?
No. He drives like a little sedan.
Sedan?
Yeah.
What does he drive?
A Kia Forte.
Oh, nice. Those
like
are good
2014, 2015, I think.
Oh, nice.
It's not a bad car.
It'd be good.
It's great to practice on.
Yeah, it'd be good to even take that to the drivers.
Yeah, but the only thing is timing. It's timing. That's the only thing.
So would you get like the drivers? Because I'm pretty sure they'd let you just use the car too.
They do for a hefty price.
Like $50?
No,
$60?
No,
$100?
More.
$200?
At the very minimum, depending on who you ask. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Because
I guess the last time I did it was like maybe 6-7 years ago. So
so it's like $200 for, I think their package includes typically is maybe like a lesson beforehand, and they'll let you use the car for the driver's test.
Okay.
But they jack up that package like so much.
Yeah.
So that's why what I'm doing is I think the roommate that I live with, her daughter.
Yeah.
Her oldest daughter has, I think, a Ford Focus. So I think we were on the phone at one point, and she's like, when are you taking your driver's test? I'm like, May 6th. And then she was like, well, she offered to let me use her car, as for the driving test and everything. I'm like, if the timing kind of works, because I have no idea what I was gonna do yet. I still don't, because it's like a month away. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Because I even asked my boyfriend, I'm like, do you want to? And he only said, if the timing works, we can do it. If not, then no.
Yeah, if he's working or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But it's, of course, the time that I booked is like during rush hour. I'm taking it at like 3:40 on Gateway.
Oh, Gateway? That's not too bad.
No, it shouldn't be too bad.
Because most of the time you're just going to be in rush hour anyways. So
I'm probably going to be just stopped.
Bumper to bumper. And did I do good? Yeah.
Yeah. It's the only thing. Once. Yeah, the only thing I really need to work on is parallel parking.
It's easy.
It is. Yes. It's just my timing is off.
You practice a little bit. All you got to do is you check the mirrors, right?
Yeah.
You just pull up right beside the car. You're right here.
Mm-hmm.
There's another car here. You crank it all the way.
Yep.
Get halfway in, then just crank it to the mid. There's 3 points. You crank it mid, and then you go in. Once you're clear, you just crank it all the way, and then you just slide in.
It's like they give you like
glove.
they give you like 3-4 minutes, and I think they only give you amount of times to go reverse and drive again during the test, and that's kind of what I really want to get it in within like 2.
And they give you a good space too. It's
yeah,
okay.
They do.
Like,
they give you
it
is a fair space, so that's why I'm just like.
Just try to pull.
I've hit the curb a couple of times. Just try to
pull in like.
Well, see, like I'm not afraid. Like apparently, going over the curb, that's an instant fail. But if I hit it, it's not bad.
You just kiss the curb.
If I just hit it, it's not as bad. You know. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'd rather hit the curb than go completely over it.
But you want to ace it. And
yes.
All you got to do is just get all the nerves out because you're gonna be nervous.
Yeah.
And just think. The nerves have no business being there. You're going to be driving. You don't worry too much about it.
Yeah, because it's going to distract you from what's going on ahead. You're not going to notice, like, you're not going to know something in your blind spot, you know, which is why I do a double take. I always do a double take. Anytime I'm like, when I'm changing lanes or anything, I always do it. I don't care.
You got to.
Right? Look in my mirrors, like, just maybe once, maybe twice and stuff like that because I don't want to hit anybody. I think I was driving during, like, winter. I think it was right after a blizzard. I was driving my way to work.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Using my boyfriend's car.
This winter's.
Yes,
it was horrible.
So I was on Higgins about to cross Main because it's the faster way to get to where I'm at. We were at a light and there's a car here type of thing. I'm in the left lane, pumping my brakes. I start sliding. I kind of cranked in here, thankfully. Otherwise, I would have rear-ended that guy.
Oh, so you just avoided it. So that's
just avoided it.
That's what is it? Defensive driving, right?
Yes.
That's a good thing. So you did the right thing.
I also hit a snowbank. I almost went into a snowbank the same day.
Oh yeah.
Because I was I was making a left turn, but I was sliding, so I went like this, but then my rear end was going like that.
Oh yeah.
And I almost did it, but thankfully we stopped right before I hit it, and then I got yelled at.
By your boyfriend?
Yeah. He was kind of worried about it.
That's funny that he doesn't let you drive, but he'll let you drive during a fucking blizzard.
Okay, well, see, that's the thing. Every time I ask...
Is that why he doesn't? Is the blizzard the reason why he doesn't?
Yeah, it's because of that. But, like, the last time he was here...
He kind of set you up, though, like, to be honest. Right?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if... I was... he was here yesterday. Today's Monday. And I asked... Because we were on our way to Walmart. And I was like, can I drive home? He's like, I was expecting you to be in the seat. Well, I'm like, I can move. You can just switch places. And he's like, no, it's fine. It's okay. And then he drives us home. I'm like, I asked if I could drive home, doofus.
Yeah.
You don't even let me. I think...
Dummy? Right?
No. Not all this. I think it's loser. I think he likes it now. I don't know why. I think he just
likes him driving and not... Or just... It's like...
Yeah, I think it's because he likes... I don't know if he likes driving me around.
Well, he probably is thinking... this is male thinking. Eventually, she's gonna get her license, and she's just gonna want to drive all the time. And so it's like once right now is the excuse where you could go. You don't have your license yet. You don't know. But once you have it, it'll be like more like, all right, let me drive, motherfucker.
That's what I think. I think he's more taking it on. It's more of like a chivalrous thing. Like, let me do it. It's okay. Drive, Like it's
because it is a chore. After what you'll learn is once you are driving. About maybe a couple months, it becomes a chore. It's not fun anymore. You're not like free and independent. It's like, okay, I gotta fucking drive. I've got to do it.
Well, I still find it a chore.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get my license to begin with, dude. Honestly, I was just like, I don't want to hit a tree or a pedestrian or something like that. Yeah. Like I got so anxious about it, but then I'm like, it's an ID. I can drive around, so I'll get it, right?
And you'll be able to, visit. You'll be able to go out to Steinbach and visit your boyfriend, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's freedom, and you can drive to work. Because do you take the bus now, or do you?
I live so far. I kind of just Uber it. Okay. Because especially
it's so
in winter,
right? Like
but especially in winter though too. Like I'd rather take an Uber than risk getting having the bus be stalled. You know what I mean? And I would have to take 3 buses to get to work, potentially. And I'm like, I don't want to do that because that means I have to leave super early for a 10 a.m. shift. Yeah. No fun. I have to leave at like 8:30, pretty much, to make it to work on time.
For the bus, right? And you're always dependent. If they're late, right? And then you're late subsequently.
Yeah, and I don't like being late. Like, I think my first...
You get stressed out about...
Oh, I'm punctual all the time.
Yeah?
All the freaking time. My first couple years that I was working at the pawn shop, I would get there like around shortly after 9, and I started at 10. So like...
Show up early all the time. Actually, I remember, because in school, you would always be the first one there.
Because I would take me an hour to get to school. Yeah. I left at like 7.
And you're always there first, right?
I left at 7 o'clock because I'd rather not be late. Yeah. Right? I didn't want to pull I don't want to call them out by name, but like I don't want to be non-punctual, show up like half an hour.
Call them out on who's always showing up late.
Do you not remember?
No.
The person who came in with me. Do you not remember?
Oh, the girl? Kaylee? Yeah, that's so funny. You guys both came in, you're very punctual, and she came in and she was always late. Always late.
Every day.
Yeah.
And
it's part of her character, though. It's her character. She just doesn't care.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm not judging her for it. I'm just like, I'd rather not be that way because it fuels my anxiety.
Yeah. But you're an anxious person.
Yes. I can get pretty anxious sometimes.
But I was like that too. Like I used to always get worried about like showing up late, and I would always think like, but it's like once you're there, right? You show up when there's certain things that you can't really can't predict, like snowstorm or stalled buses. You can't really predict those things. I've had times where I seen like a taxi driver get. I wasn't in part of it. I was in a taxi, and they got into a crash. So that person, whoever, if he had to go to a meeting or something, had to come home real quick. Good luck. He's probably not gonna come home on time or go wherever he was supposed to go on time, right?
Yeah.
Like, can't really predict certain things like that. So there are things out of your
control that
that you shouldn't really worry about.
It's also the fact that like at my company specifically, there's a lot of like there's one person or a couple people who either show up late or they just call out every single time, and it's not fun. But the only thing is,
do you have like no shows? Do you ever have like any employees that do no shows?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Not at my location, no, but other locations. But the thing is, our location, the ones who would actually be there to work, are always expected to cover. Like I get sent to other locations to cover their staff. How
many different locations are in the city?
4 total.
Is there one on Sargent?
Yes.
Okay, I think that's the same one, because I was driving by and I'm like, is that the same one Alyssa works at? But I guess it's
it is same, yeah. We just
same brand or owners.
It's the same owners, yeah. Like I got sent to a couple other locations because like I said, it seems like no one wants to work, or they just hire complete imbecilic people.
Yeah.
You know, like just do the hiring right. Don't half-ass your way, and then get mad at them for when you were the ones who made this decision in the first place. You know, like because it doesn't make sense. For me, like I try to educate myself before saying like certain things, obviously, but I think this pattern has gone on long enough that any half-wit.
Well, everybody, it's even like from McDonald's to like almost every service industry where you're dealing with customers, nobody's working. Like there's a shortage across the board for everywhere. Yeah. We're having shortages at Coca-Cola. Is the biggest company, you know.
It's the biggest company in the world.
Pretty much, yeah. And they're having a lot of trouble just hiring people. We're always overstaffed. I had to take today off because, I mean, we had this plan for months, right? So I didn't want to, and they wanted me to go to Niverville on a 2-day excursion. This is in a hotel, and I was like, this is the one thing I could do anything today, but as long as I just come home. And I told them that, and they're like, well, we can't really move it because we're so stressed out. We have all the people working, and the people that aren't working, they're on workers' comp or EI, or they're like scared of the pandemic because a lot of still.
I think it's also the fact that it comes to like, I think this is when like CERB and everything went out in the first place. Like people were getting paid what was it the first time? Like $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
To sit and stay at home from COVID.
It wasn't a month. It was $2,000 every 2 weeks. So it was $4,000 a month. I knew a guy that got 8 times. He got the CERB 8 times, and he was on I think he's on welfare or pension. So he wasn't supposed to get that much money. So he got $16,000.
Well, see, that's the thing. I only got 2,000. I only claimed it once because I was during the first wave of the pandemic because I was out of work for a month. So I had to. That was like the month. I needed something to live off of, right? And
I got it once too. I think
I got it once, but like I think, like I don't know. I'm gonna say the general population. I'm gonna generalize here. Realize that they're
lazy.
No, it's not just that. They also figured, okay, why would I go to the office or why would I go to my workspace?
Risk getting sick, right?
Risk getting sick, getting underpaid for that matter, when I can make a livable wage sitting at home. Yeah. Right, and it just ties into
and you
the
can
whole
work
issue.
On your dreams, or you can work on your passion.
Exactly. I'm speaking on the behalf of those guys. The lazy people, that's a whole different story. Mm-hmm. Right, I'm just saying for the people who are like, they have the work ethic, they have the motivation and the drive, but they realize, okay, I can sit at home and make more money. Yeah,
$4,000, $2,000 paychecks. That wasn't really taxed either.
Well, yeah, exactly. They weren't taxed at all, right? Mm-hmm. They figured, okay, I'm well off. I'm happier mentally too, because I don't have to. The only time I really have to leave the house is when I feel like really cooped up, type of thing. And
well, funny story. One of the guys at work that I was working with, he's like, my daughter's making more money. She's like, just got out of high school, part-time, not even full-time, part-time, maybe even seasonal. She wasn't even working that much. She was getting $4,000 a month, and he's like, she's making more than me. Like, this is ridiculous. It's kind of a ridiculous, like, what is going on? Everyone's just getting checks. Right?
When they were doing it the first time, I think they did it completely backwards.
Mm-hmm. They gave too much money up front and then expected the people to figure it out. When
exactly.
Should have been a little bit more spaced out.
I think how they have it now, I think it's, it's good.
What is it like now? Because I'm not too sure.
Well, I got COVID, I think, what was it, almost a month ago now. Mm-hmm. It's been like 3 weeks. And I had to file a report. I guess I had to file to get one of the benefits because I missed at least half of my work week for that 1 week, right? Because you have to keep applying for each week that you miss. Okay. And it's up to 6 or 8 weeks. I'm not 100% sure. But you get like up to I think it's $450 a week. Mm-hmm. So it's already taxed. But it's not bad, but I think they highly regulate it now and they tell you like, oh, if you can or can't apply. Mm-hmm. I had, this was just on the fault of Service Canada, but I had an open EI claim from like last year that they never closed. Mm-hmm. And so they, at the present time, they still have not paid me for the week. They have received my application, but they have failed to contact Service Canada and kind of clear that up. When the claim, I even called Service Canada a bunch to just close it. Mm-hmm. Just close it. I don't care.
Don't need it anymore. It's already passed, right?
Exactly.
So you didn't end up getting paid for that week?
No, I'm still trying. I'm still checking my accounts every few days just to see if, have they contacted, if they contacted. I've contacted them once, and they said it would take up to 8 weeks to process. Wow. And I'm like, are you serious? 8 weeks. Mm. Like, that's ridiculous. Yeah. And when I applied for the CERB, you know how fast I got it? Instantly.
Yeah. I got it
instantly. I got it the next day.
Same day delivery.
Yeah,
checks,
exactly.
They came out like
they were
printing them off. They're just
see, you know what?
We got all these checks.
I can handle like a week. Yeah. A week seems doable for me. I can wait a week, right? But when it's been 3 weeks and I still have not received that benefit for losing that week, like, granted, I'm okay because I had to rely on savings and everything. Mm-hmm. It's still, it's still kind of a bust.
Yeah, it would be nice to not dip into your savings and have some
exactly
floater cash, right?
Exactly. So, like I said, I'm just waiting until CRA kind of just like, sitting here like a duck waiting for them to approve it.
The waiting on the government. I got it. My stepdad he's always talking about fighting the government. And to be honest, he just ends up doing things like that. Like, he's waiting on this because it's like it's an uphill battle.
It
You're
is
fighting.
I even hear it from my customers too, like, oh, I get like the people who don't have direct deposit. I mean, like the people who have direct deposit they kind of win, but they don't. But I'm saying the people who just rely on late checks and they don't have direct deposit, they also get late checks too from EI, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't ask them why they get EI. Obviously, that's rude. But they, every single week, every single time that either EI or something or family allowance comes out, they always like, oh yeah, my check was late, and I'm like, well, I understand that you mass produce these, obviously, but if anything, the check should come out no later than 2 to 3 days.
Yeah, it should come out at the same time. It's
like I understand direct deposit comes out the same day, whatever, that's fine. I don't want it to be like 3 days later and I'm receiving this check and then I'm asking the customer, like, oh, where'd you get this check, type of thing. Yeah. It also ties back into where I work because we cash checks for people too.
Okay.
Cause not new ones, obviously, because we're picky now.
You don't cash new checks? Is it
no.
like a lot of scams?
Yes.
A lot of scams.
Because you can literally take a photo of your check and deposit directly through them and then go to a store and say, I want to get this cashed.
Oh, yeah.
And we've gotten I can probably say, within the last 5 years, we've lost tens of thousands of dollars.
Really? Just holy shit. That's interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of scammers because I somehow got this like email, and this was when I was looking for work and I was kind of younger, like maybe 19, 20 years old. And there was this email and it was really sketchy. It's like, okay, we're going to get you working on like online customer service, right? And they're like, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to get you paid. You'll be making like good money for at the time. I think it was like a couple $1,000 a week, right? I'm like, fuck that. I could do that. All you have to work is like weekends. They said, okay, that's really easy. This is good money. Then they sent me a check to cash. So I had to go to one of those cash money loan agencies, sketchy place. I felt so weird because I'm like, this doesn't make sense. It seems like a scam. And I took it to the guy, and the guy's like, yeah, dude, we can't cash this. This is like a scam. Like, and he told me about it, and I was like, oh shit. I felt so stupid. I was like, man. And the guy just kept emailing me, oh, did you cash a check yet? Did you cash a check? Because I was supposed to cash a check and then send him the money to like establish it was such a weird, looking back on it, it's stupid that I fell for it, but this at the time it was like I was desperate looking for work, but I just remember just being like, this is so weird. But I could imagine like a lot of those scams go on with those fake checks. It
is, and that's why we have to be so picky, because obviously we're going to be out the money. And
or like if someone steals people's checks too, right? Like you could steal a checkbook, because my mom had that. She had a contractor steal checks from her and then cash them, like hundreds of dollars every now, $100 here, $100 there, just cashing her checks. And then she found out he stole like thousands and thousands of dollars at the time. And then he ended up going to jail because of it. It was kind of weird because it was like he was really nice to us. He was really nice to me. He hung out with me. He took me to a fucking pizza shop, probably on my mom's dime. And it was just so weird because it's like he is so close to us, but like he was fucking my mom over. It was one of those like Dateline episodes or something like that. Like
you would never expect it, right? So like the last
so friendly, super friendly and nice, and come to find out he's stealing money from my mom, stealing checks from my mom.
Well, that's the thing too. At my work, it goes, I think, a little step further because I have people who have physically altered the check. Really? And I know how to tell the difference.
How do they even do that? Like it's just they add like a little extra zero or something there? Or?
No. It's not like that. It's more so they would alter the name for theirs. Oh, and they would alter the date of the check. Sometimes I think I've only gotten once where they've. I don't think I've gotten once where they've like altered the amounts of it, but I did have some people where I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, this is clearly fake. I even have photos. Yeah, like I have photos because every time I do, I like snap a photo and I save it just in case.
Just so you could like, okay, that's what I gotta look for, kind of in the future.
Well, that too. If I'm forced to train somebody, which I hate doing. I don't like training anybody.
Nobody does.
I know, but like this, I'm like, okay, this is what you kind of got to look for if someone's cashing a check. But either way, we've still cut it down to we're only taking one kind of checks. Do you know the people already across the lot from my store, the store that I work at? Those are the only people that we're taking checks from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they're they're low, and we know them. Like they're right there. So if one of them comes back anyway, we could just stomp right over and be like, where's the money? Not that we've ever done that, but it's right there, like that's what we're willing to risk, and that's about it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I've never really want to take any handwritten checks because I have stories about that. Yeah.
Well, you never know where they come from, and if they got bad checks or bad checks. Right?
I hate bad checks. No, because then we only take a certain amount from each check that we cash. So if it's a large amount, guess how many checks it's gonna take for us to make that money back. Yeah. It's gonna take such a long time. If it's like a $5,000 check and we're only taking 3% off of every check over 100 that we pocket. And
you guys just cashed it and it was bad. I can see where that comes from, and it's stressful.
It is super stressful. My work entirely is kind of stressful, but that's
you deal with shady people. There's nothing. I don't see anybody like normal at that pawn shop.
Yeah, well,
just a lot of sketchy characters that you don't want to deal with.
That's the thing. I can tell you, I've been I wasn't gonna say verbally assaulted because I think that's a little too far, but I've been
Me too.
I was gonna be like, I've been disrespected. Yeah. And I've been called numerous amounts of names. Mm-hmm. But I sometimes just take it. Then
you take it in stride. Yeah. So you're young. You're 23. Yeah. You know what I mean? You got your health. These think about it like this. They're old guys mostly. Mostly older guys, just so broke, right? So they're selling their prized possessions. Yeah. And they're so they're in a low place.
It just depends on who it is too, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not afraid to be like, okay, you're disrespecting me. Mm-hmm. You can get the fuck out. Yeah. Okay.
Do you have a security? How does it go though? If any customers start acting up, I always get scared for you because I'm like, I know those guys can't. You work with guys.
So if anyone's just disrespectful verbally, I can be like, okay, this is it. We're done. Get the hell out. Yeah. Bye. And then there's the door.
What? And then has anything ever got physical?
Almost.
Really?
Yes. I was working at another location with another female. I think this kind of guy just comes strutting in. He's clearly on drugs. Yeah. Right.
Huffing paint or something?
No, I couldn't tell you. Yeah. But he just comes in and we notice that there's something off about him, right? Mm-hmm. So basically we keep an eye out because it's a small store, I think. We can, as long as both of us are watching him, he's fine. So we're talking to him. I guess he's talking to us. He starts talking to us anyway. And I said no to his items, obviously. And I think it got to the point where we had to get security from the hotel because the one that I was working at is directly attached to the hotel. Okay. So we had to get the security and owner from the hotel to kind of get him out because he was starting to get a little physical with some people. I think not with us, but with other people.
The customers or just?
Yeah, I think another guy. So got those guys out. We called the police. Yeah. They didn't end up showing up for 20 minutes, but anyway.
Yeah, it's standard. Police time is 20 minutes.
Yeah. So then we called them just to be sure. It took us 15 minutes to get him out. And he was the owner of the building was getting in his face. Really getting in his face. He's like, if you don't leave, I'm going to call the cops, type of bullshit. And I'm like, I'm just here. I just work here.
Yeah, I just work here.
That's kind of my mentality. It's I kind of just work here. I can just tell you to get out and you'll never come again. I can just yell in your face, but that's all I can really do.
You gotta just disassociate from those situations.
I do. I kind of do. I don't really disassociate. I kind of just I get a good laugh at it later, type of thing. I think there was this one where, she was hilarious. So she was, I think it was stolen goods.
Okay.
I think it was because.
Was she black?
No.
Okay.
No.
Was she white?
No, but she was clearly on something too.
Okay. Yeah.
It was just her whole demeanor and everything was very odd. So she comes in with tools and some other stuff like that, and I said I wouldn't take any of this because condition. Condition for us is absolutely crucial. Okay. It's we need the things to be in the best condition possible because
rusty tools or tools with blood on them.
Well, obviously not. How are we supposed to resell that? Yeah. How?
No, what were the tools looking like though?
No, they were pretty roughed up. Obviously, they were used, roughed up, broken in some places, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to take it the way it is. And she goes off on me, claiming that, you know, it's like, you always say no to all my stuff. And she claimed it was a race issue, and it clearly wasn't.
Well, what race was she? Native?
I don't want to generalize, but it looked like she was maybe indigenous.
Okay.
But, it was like she was yelling at me like, "Oh, you never take my stuff," and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, I was thinking, I don't even know you.
Yeah, she's
This is the first time I've ever seen her. Yeah. So like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Well, when usually, it's if you are committing crime. If you play the race card, it's like, okay, well, we'll let you, you know, kind of like let you go like security guards and go, okay.
Yeah.
Well.
But the thing is, like, I wasn't going to take that because it was completely untrue.
Yeah.
So anyways, she's like kind of yelling at me and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to take your stuff. That's the end of freaking story. I don't care.
She just had the tools? That's it?
She just had those.
Okay.
And I said, you can take them back.
Dirty tools.
You can take them somewhere else. I won't pay anything. I will not take anything for them. And I was trying to be completely respectful and everything to her regardless. Right? And I think she called me like, I don't know if she called me like a bitch or something. And then she's like, well, she told me to get her a real job at the end of it. And I'm like, when she left, I was like, just thinking, I'm on this side of the counter, lady.
Yeah.
You're the one coming to me for money.
Yeah.
I have the job, not you. Like, what kind of logic is that? And then how I laugh about it now because I'm like, you're just that stupid.
Yeah.
Your brain, like, clearly, it's clear that she only has 2 brain cells and they're arguing with each other up there. Yeah. And I'm just like sitting there, I'm like, I should have said what I thought. No, I really should have done it.
Sometimes it's better to bite your tongue, especially because you're at work and if I don't know if your boss would care about that or anything, but
my boss would tell him just straight up, get the fuck out.
Yeah. But like, you know, you're a nice person anyways, right? So you don't want that to be, you don't just want to just every customer that comes in that's a little bit like troublesome that you just tell them to fuck off.
Well, no, I'm not gonna
get your shit and get the
no.
Fuck out
If
of
you're
here.
if they're clearly disrespecting me, then I will disrespect you back.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Did you ever snap back and you clap back at anybody?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I think it was last week. I did.
Last week.
Last week.
What did you say?
Oh no, this guy was okay. He was wanting to pick up his very late items, right?
Yeah.
So
you sold them.
Well, the thing is, I'm like trying to calculate. I'm like, okay, it's this much to pick this up, and then he's like, he kept saying to me, how much is it for this one? How much is it? Blah 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 blah. He was trying to. I think what he was trying to do is he was trying to confuse me and make me give him back money.
Yeah.
When I'm like, no, I'm trying to explain it to him. I explained it to him multiple times. Yeah. I'm like, it's this much to take out because I'm doing what he asked me to. He wants to pick up this and use the rest of his money towards this. I'm like, okay, I can do that. But he's like trying to talk over me and everything. I'm like, it's this much to do and this much to do. I don't owe you anything. So like, and then you know what I did? I got it. I'm like, went to the back, got his change. It's due on the 12th, sir. Have a nice day. Get out.
Yeah.
Get out, asshole. I think I wanted to flip him off, but I didn't want the cameras to see me. So
see, the thing is, he probably thought you were dumb, trying to confuse you and stuff like that.
I'm like, I'm not.
But you're a smart person. You're smart, and you got a good head on your shoulders, and you're independent. You think for yourself. You can call bullshit when you see bullshit, right?
I'm like, yeah, it was BS. I'm like, I don't care who the hell you are. Mm-hmm. I don't care if you're the president of the United frickin' States.
Yeah, and Joe Biden, you already forgot when to pick up your things, right?
It's freaking Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
But either way, don't disrespect me about stuff that you clearly don't know about. Mm-hmm. I think it's ignorant, first of all, and second of all, it's rude. You don't treat your mother this way, I hope. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe they did, and that's why they're pawning their shit, Alyssa. They fucked over their family, and now they're trying to get the people they don't know.
Oh, God. Don't even get me started.
It's a lot of losers. Nothing but losers at the pawn shop.
It is all...
I felt so bad. I shouldn't even have pawned my DVDs. I just did them.
And, I mean...
It's not
it's
a good
better
deal.
For us, though.
It's
good
what?
for us.
It's good for you guys. Yeah,
it's good for us.
It's good for the company. Yeah. You guys are balling with my.
Well, because we're
did you watch any of my?
No, but the thing is, we're in like limited supply. Yeah. I swear, every time we put like a massive amount of DVDs, all of our DVD regulars go like this. DVDs.
Is it collections and shit? Huh? Is it just collectors? I guess.
No, it's just because we sell them so cheap.
Mm.
Everywhere else is $5. Everywhere else will sell you for at least $5.
How much is?
We sell them for $1.
Oh, $1? That's a good deal, yeah.
It's a real good deal. And we just try to take them like mint ones because we don't have a disc buffer anymore. Because we used to like buff discs and then put them out type of thing, but our machine broke and we never got around to fixing it.
It's like old pawn shop life, eh?
Oh yeah, that's why I'm like, I really want to do something else.
Well, what would you do if you had the choice? Like if you didn't have to worry about no
money for the most part?
Yeah, money and travel.
Well, I wanted to be. Well, my dream was to get into the film industry.
Mm-hmm.
That was my dream, but I don't know. Lately, it's never happened for me. And at this point in my life, I'm more kind of into like stability than anything now.
Yeah, because now I mean,
I have to be, right?
You gotta.
But the thing is, I'm still grieving that I was never able to go.
You're 23 though, like film school or something like that.
Yeah.
Because you kind of threw out, you're gonna be a business.
I'm going into business admin, so.
Do photography or film school. Do that.
I wanted to go to film school
and then make a cool film. And here's the thing: you just gotta take notes, right? You got favorite directors or anything like that?
David Fincher is my favorite director.
Okay.
I like his visual style. I like his style.
Study those kinds of styles, and it's all about just when you're in the school, right? You meet the right people. You meet those guys that are actually know somebody, and because I think the best thing for school is to meet somebody. I don't even think the degree really matters. If you can meet some people that, Canadian film producers and stuff like that, and then slowly, start, working your way to the top, and then just make a cool independent film, get the film festival going.
Yeah, it's just the thing is, like I said,
be a ballin' ass film director. We need more women in film.
I know, but the thing is, like, I felt like I've tried again, but like I got nowhere, type of thing.
And what did you try?
I did the thing is I did the broadcasting to kind of, it was not more so for the career for me, it was more so to kind of hone in the craft and try something new at the same time. I wasn't like, if I was kind of at the start, I was okay if I didn't have a career in broadcasting. I would have gone either way.
Like, what would you be in like as a filmmaker? Would you want to be a director or camera?
Camera or editor? Editor specifically.
Okay, cool.
I wanted to be an editor because I do it off and on.
Do you have any editing equipment, like a program?
Well, I have programs. Yeah, I use DaVinci. I use Sony Vegas. I really want to invest into Adobe software, but I just don't have the money at the time. Maybe like in the near future, but I only just do it recreationally now. But
I think it's practice, because like what I would do, like I have a bunch of I always film because I do music, right? I do music videos, and then I'll do like things like this podcast. But it's not really an edit. You just cut it a certain way and edit shit if you don't want it in the podcast. But with the music video, it's kind of time consuming to make a music video because it's like 3 minutes, but you got like about an hour of footage, so you're trying to get the best angles and stuff, right? So like if you could find like local rappers or like people that do music and they're just always pumping music out, you just link up with those guys, and then you could say, hey, I'll edit your videos, and then that's some sort of experience.
Yeah.
Then you get some tags like, edited by Alyssa.
Yeah.
And you slowly get.
Yeah, like I've done my friend's wedding before. Like I've done like certain like stuff
and
like that.
They liked it and it was good.
Well, the thing is that's kind of ongoing, but I don't really want to say anything about that one's per se. But I did do editing work with some of the guys from broadcasting right after you left.
Oh yeah.
And that's when the kind of the population of the class grew, and
got lit. It got lit when I left.
It was so fun.
You guys smoking weed and
orgies. Orgies? Are you serious? I was like one of the only women in there, surrounded by mostly guys. It was seriously.
Okay.
No, but like it was me and about, I'd say, hold on, I need to count on my fingers for this. Probably like four other people that we all clicked, we all vibed and stuff like that. We were always like the last ones to leave.
Just staying late on projects. And
stuff.
Yeah. That's fun.
But like I said, I think I'm at a point in my life where like if I didn't meet my boyfriend, I probably would have went to film school and started working harder, but I kind of value
don't let them
more.
don't let them hold you down or hold
No. It's not like that. It's more so like I'm kind of okay if it doesn't happen. I'm more so willing to just do it as a hobby, and if I make something out of it, cool. If I don't, then I'm kind of okay with it.
Yeah.
I I think right after, because I finished the diploma right as COVID hit. The COVID hit the first time.
I'm actually so happy because I got out right when COVID hit, and I got a job, and I was like, fuck, I made it was a luck thing that I wasn't feeling. But it would have been so tough to get
did my
job.
internship right when COVID was rampant in North America. So I finished it after it's been it took me longer than usual because I was pretty much stuck in the house. I think that was kind of my grieving period because I was trying to find jobs, wasn't really getting anything.
That's rough.
All production companies were closed down.
And they said it was going to be tough to just find a job regardless. And
of course, in a pandemic had to hit, which kind of stagnated or even cut it off completely because I know Winnipeg specifically, it has a booming arts industry. It really does. But the thing is, I think now that everything's coming back to normal, it kind of has to rebuild itself.
Yeah, for sure.
And
itself
it's kind of at that place right before the pandemic hit where it's okay, you're kind of have to meet the right people and do this, and get all through these loopholes just to get exposure or even kind of the know-how. And now I'm just if I have to start all over again, what the frick's the point?
Yeah, that's true.
So.
But you end up going to school and whatever you choose. If you really want to do business, you could do that. But it would always be cool to just, especially now because with iPhones, if you got an iPhone, yeah, you can make a video off of that, right?
Oh yeah,
and you can edit it yourself.
For sure.
Always make stuff. But if you would you want to direct or make a movie? Would you ever?
I would. I would do short
do you have any
stuff.
ideas? Because I've pitched around, I got some notes on my phone of actual movies, but it's just thinking about just starting it is okay, well, you need actors first.
Yeah, I've had ideas written down and stuff like that. I'm but then the thing is, I'm also not confident in my own ability because, I said, it's the anxious personality, right? Yeah. Where I'm just is my work good enough?
What's your idea? What would be your hit movie if you had? Or your ideas that you did have?
See, that's the thing. It's all I write it all down.
What is it about?
I don't want to say now because I'm just.
I'll tell you my story. Okay, so there's a story, right? And it mirrors my life, but it's an extreme, so it's fiction. So it starts off with this guy, right? This guy, and it's right where you are, pretty much. He's learning how to drive, right? He's a young guy. He's a teenager. He's driving. He's he's 16, 17 years old. He's this open scene. He's in the he's driver's ed. He's learning how to drive. The driver instructor is telling him he's a really good driver. He's really confident behind the wheel. He asks, "Have you ever driven before?" "No, it's his first time, learning." And it's okay, well, you're gonna ace your test because you seems like you know everything. It's how'd you learn? Did you get any practice? Well, I did a lot of play video games, racing games, and stuff, and kind of learn from that. But yeah. And then, fast forward, he gets his license. He's driving around for extra money. He starts doing things like Uber. He's driving around doing Uber, and then he's driving people around. Then he drives this one guy, and it's some mob boss, right? And the mob boss is really liking how he drives, right? He's if you ever want to make some extra cash,
oh god,
and then chaos ensues. I won't ruin it, but it gets ridiculous.
Yeah, I was gonna be does he kind of take a downward spiral, kind of Walter White type of thing?
It gets really he's
you live by that Batman quote. You're you die the hero, or live yourself long enough to see yourself become the villain type of thing.
He's in his mid-20s, and fast forward, and he's just moving drugs. He's driving bank heists. Guys,
yeah, so that's complete just Walter White shit.
Straight up, G's deep in it, and he just
this is this is some Breaking Bad type of shit, But
I pitched that idea, and it's such a good idea. It's kind of unique. mirrors, and then mirrors this. Similarly, the weird thing is, I wrote that a couple years later. Baby Driver comes out, and I'm like, Baby Driver's kind of there. A young guy that's driving.
I would think it would make a great miniseries.
Like Drive, like
a short, like you know how Marvel's doing it, like they're releasing 6 to 9 episodes, like maybe like an hour, maybe half an hour,
like
hour short,
mini series,
yeah, like a limited series, short series like that. It would probably be like
because nowadays it's all TV. Like there's rarely any good unless it's a Marvel movie. It's like or like one of those big office productions. It's very rare just to have a really good movie nowadays.
Well, everything is being adapted. Everything's being adapted,
recreated.
Yeah, like rebooted. Sony did Uncharted. I went to go see it opening night.
How's that?
As a huge Uncharted fan, I sat there.
Is it the video game Uncharted? Yes. Okay, that is such a good game.
It is. First I love it.
The second one.
I love it. No, but my favorite's the fourth one. Okay. It's the best written one out of all of them. But either way, I left the theater very disappointed.
Yeah, they usually never do video
But
game
the thing is,
movies,
my roommate who got me into that loved the movie. I think he's just like he's at that point. He's a fan. He's fanboying. He'll take what he can get.
They can't do no wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I'm just sitting here. I'm like that wasn't a good film. I like Tom Holland's performance.
Tom Holland was in it. What was wrong with it?
Okay, I felt like it was pretty much it mirrors everything that was wrong in the first game. Not much depth written in the characters. Pacing was very fast. We didn't really have any time to slow down.
Nothing set in, right?
Yeah, just development was not there for me. So that's why I was just like, okay, I wish we were able to like sit down with these characters and get to know them before the action starts. I know that's not what Uncharted is, but it would be nice because by the time they got to the fourth Uncharted game, they actually started getting into these characters, and I'm like, dang, I like this.
Yeah. So you're a big movie buff, though.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, I took a lot of film classes in high school, or a few film classes in high school, and now I noticed everything.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I did English literature in high school, and like I know how to write like music, right? And like certain metaphors, and it's like this. Listening to rap nowadays, I just go, God, they're struggling to get to a point. With music, a lot of music is like, what is this song about?
But there is some rap there that there's those anomalies where I'll be like, okay, this is a well-written song and it's not about money, drugs, or ass.
Yeah, those are rare.
Those are rare.
But I was gonna say with the movies. Speaking of movies, I watched Mad Max like a couple days ago last night. Fury Road, the newer one, I guess it was like 2015 or whatever. Again with the characters, like I was like just right into all action, and I was just like, I would love to get to know some of these characters, but like I just never felt like super attached. So when they would all end up dying at the end, I was just like, okay, like I wasn't really attached to begin with, so it didn't really hit home, and characters are crying in this, so it's just like there's a disconnect. You need to be invested in the character. Yeah,
that was me when I watched Infinity War and Endgame for the first time, because I got dragged to that by my best friend.
But were you into Marvel at that point or no?
I didn't. Like I said, at that point, I only seen like 1% of all. So
you're like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah. So at Endgame, we get there super early, so my best friend can kind of prep me for the movie, right? Because she's explaining what's happening and everything. So I'm like, I still cried because I'm very like empathetic towards some people. Well, the people no, just for some characters that I actually knew, like Spider-Man. I'm like, no.
Okay, you know what? I'll admit, I think everybody had to have cried during that Spider. Yeah. When he's like, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
I know. I was so young, sad.
And he looks up to Tony Stark so much, and it's just so sad.
I know, but that's the part where I was just like, okay,
that was
like I empathize for that. I watched Guardians.
Oh yeah, Guardians. The first one.
The second one actually. Okay. For some reason, I don't know how that.
The first one's so much better. This first one's so much better.
But then I'm like, I cried a few times, but then when I went back and rewatched the thing. I think 4 minutes into Infinity War, I'm crying. I'm like,
Loki died. Loki, even though Loki was an asshole, like it's like it's just sad because he last thing he did was like try to help his brother. Right?
Well, that's the thing. He was at that point where I think he was about to get his redemption.
Redemption arc.
He was going to get his redemption because I think at Ragnarok, this is like Ragnarok takes place before that, and I'm like, oh, so that's how he becomes the person that he is before Endgame. I see. So then I'm like, okay, I kind of like have more perspective on that, and I watched the Loki TV series, and I'm just like, he deserves a redemption arc. He's still chaotic. He will still do things out of his own his own fruition to what his own morals are like. But he's not necessarily a good guy. He's not necessarily a bad guy. Yeah. Per se, he's kind of in that gray zone.
Loki he's a god of mischief. Right?
Yeah.
So he just likes to get he gets himself into trouble.
I think that's per for his character too, right? Like as you said, he's the god of mischief. It's kind of expected of him.
Yeah.
But I think he was going to that point where he was morally on the right path, versus like how he was in Avengers, and he was gonna like enslave the whole world and type it.
Yeah.
Or enslave the whole earth and be like, kneel before me, you filthy peasants.
Well, he tried that. What was that movie where he was trying to get everyone to kneel and the guy?
Oh, that was Avengers. That was the first Avengers.
The first Avengers. That was a good scene with that old guy. He's like, we fought evil like you before with the Nazis or something. I was like, that's such a that first Avengers really set the tone for the whole cinematic universe. It just made it. And Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. You can't get a better cast. Like he's perfect for Iron Man.
I love RDJ. I don't really connect to Iron Man. I like Iron Man.
It got crazy like at the last Iron Man where he's like doing all these things and he has all these like AI bots and stuff and it's like okay.
I still
hit
kind of
the Deus Ex Machina button.
Yeah, I just think he's kind of
every time.
a dick. But the thing is, I like what he's trying to redeem himself.
Billionaire guy.
He's just trying to.
Most guys are.
Yeah, but I'm saying he's still trying to redeem himself at least. That's what I liked about his character, and that they dived into like how he feels his actions affect other people, and that's what I really like about Iron Man.
No, that's
like I said, as a person, I would be like, fuck you, right? Type of thing. Flip him off.
Yeah.
But I like the character development he goes through for all of the movies that he's gone into.
Okay, we should probably wrap this podcast.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's been a while. How long have we been going?
Like 2 hours.
An hour or two.
I think so.
I really gotta use the washroom. But favorite character
of all time?
Yeah, in a MCU.
Black Widow.
Black Widow. Okay.
Black Widow.
She's and why is that? Just because you relate to her the most?
Not just because of that. I was actually going to go back to what I was going to explain to you earlier. In the first movie, I'll explain to you why she's an Avenger. So you remember the scene where I guess he's being interrogated, or Loki's being interrogated by Black Widow? Mm-hmm. She has the way, she is like manipulative. She's able to get into your head before you even know that she got into your head. Mm-hmm. And that's why she's an Avenger. She's an Avenger because she tricked the God of Mischief.
Okay.
Because I'm like, kudos to her. She's just a SHIELD agent.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't think any of the other Avengers would have been able to get into his head and find out what he wants to do if it wasn't for her. So she got the upper hand in that one.
Yeah, interesting enough. I guess we could end on that. That's and I just want to say thank you, Alyssa, to coming out to the podcast. It's always hard to get people are always busy, especially in a pandemic. And just coming out of it, so it's always like I have so many friends that would say they're gonna come, and it's like they no show or they say later. They keep postponing it, so it's really
at least I like to try at least because I'm like I don't want to leave people hanging. That's not my style.
And you made this podcast more diverse. I mean, you're a woman and you're the first woman. And my mom was on the podcast, to be honest.
So I'm not the first woman.
You're the first woman other than my mom, but first Asian woman.
Yeah.
This is we're breaking down barriers. So now I could have at least a whole slew of my Asian jokes.
Oh my god!
I'm just kidding.
I get those at work. Come on.
Really?
I do.
What's the worst thing?
Oh, it's so bad. I get.
Yeah. You don't have to, but.
That's all I have to do.
Well, the thing is, I was gonna say stuff, but it's just you're learning to drive, so that's a good thing. You're.
I'm learning. I think I'm good. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty good.
You should be okay.
Yeah.
It's just because you're half white, though.
Do I have to punch you?
I'm just fucking with you.
I know.
We should probably end this, I guess, before I say something wrong. But yeah, I guess that's been. There is no introduction today, guys. It's been the weekend show. It's Mediumjay and Alyssa. You know, what should I put? Should I put your? You want to promote anything? You got an Instagram? Or
I do have an Instagram.
Plug it. Go ahead. You know, tell the people.
You can follow me at Vervanity, VerVandity.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you know she's definitely gonna come out with some movies soon. Yeah,
Maybe
hit the box office. Marvel's next competitor.
Oh yeah, I was gonna be like Kevin Feige. You know where I am.